Synopsis of the Books of the Bible. 1 Samuel. By JND Darby. All Scripture is given by inspiration of God, and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness, that the man of God may be perfect, thoroughly furnished unto all good works. 2 Timothy 3 verses 16 and 17. Synopsis of the Books of the Bible. By John Nelson Darby. 1 Samuel, chapter 12. Samuel's faith, love and intercession. Samuel, 1 Samuel 12, receives the people's testimony to his fidelity. He sets before them the ways of God towards them, their ingratitude and foolishness in having asked for a king and rejected God. Nevertheless, while giving a sign from God which added the weight of God's own testimony to his words, he declares to the people that, if henceforth they would obey Jehovah, both the king and the people should continue to follow Jehovah. That is, they would walk under his blessing and guidance. But if not, Jehovah would be against them. For Jehovah would not forsake them, and he himself, Samuel, would assuredly not cease to pray for them, and would teach them the good and the right way. That is to say, he places the people, as to their public conduct, in the position they had chosen, and set them under their own responsibility before Jehovah, but at the same time, full of love to them as the people of God. Their rejection of himself does not for a moment suggest the thought to him of giving up his intercession or his testimony for their welfare. Beautiful picture of a heart near the Lord, which, in forgetfulness of self, can love his people as its own. To fail in this would have been to sin against the Lord. Compare 2 Corinthians 12 verse 15. Saul established, called to be faithful and obedient. Here then is Saul established in his place, and his authority confirmed by the blessing of God. Samuel retires, confining himself to his prophetic office, and Saul is now called to prove himself faithful and obedient in his present position, surrounded by all the advantages which the blessing of God and the solemn act of his prophet could confer upon him. Summary of chapters 1 to 12. Let us now recapitulate the history we have been examining. Israel, unfaithful, no longer maintain their relationship with God under priesthood. The ark is taken, the priest dies, and Ichabod is written on the condition of the people. God raises up a prophet, who becomes the means of communication between himself and the people, but, threatened by the Ammonites, the people at length demand a king. God grants their request, testifying at the same time his displeasure since he himself was their king. The spirit of prophecy continues nevertheless to be the channel of divine communication to the people. Signs, which indicate the state of the people, are given to Saul, the elected and anointed king. First of all, some faithful ones who own the God of Bethel, that is to say, the faithful God of Jacob, who had promised not to leave him till he had performed all that he had promised him, and, next, the hill of God, the seat of authority among the people, in possession of the Philistines, the power of the enemy in the land of promise. The spirit of prophecy comes upon Saul, showing him where God was amid these circumstances, and Samuel tells him to wait for him at Gilgal. Meantime, as we have seen, he is strengthened by the blessing of God upon his undertakings.